Imagine a world where a loaf of bread could determine who lived and who starved, where every meal was a gamble between hunger and survival. In the grand halls of castles, tables groaned under the weight of roasted meats, exotic spices and wine flowing like rivers, while just beyond the stone walls, peasants scavenged what little the land grudgingly offered. The paradox is haunting. The same society that celebrated abundance at its centre tolerated famine at its edges. How could humans endure such extremes day after day, year after year? What did it feel like to witness kings feasting on a banquet you could only dream of, while your children clawed at stale crusts for warmth and sustenance? The answer lies in understanding the ingenuity born of desperation and the brutal mathematics of survival. Peasants learned to stretch scraps, to extract nutrition from what others considered waste, to turn weeds into meals and bones into broth. It is a story of hidden knowledge and human resilience, of practices forgotten by time, yet astonishing in their effectiveness. To truly grasp the contrast between feast and famine, we must journey into the kitchens, fields and hovels of medieval life, and watch how the poor survived while the rich lived in excess. The medieval world was a study in extremes. Wealth and scarcity coexisted side by side, often just a few miles apart. Nobles and royalty commanded resources that allowed them to import spices, salt and sugar from distant lands, turning simple meals into displays of power and status. Peasants, on the other hand, lived at the mercy of the seasons. A failed harvest could mean starvation, and even a successful one demanded ingenuity to preserve and divide the produce. Their diet was simple, monotonous, and yet remarkably adaptive. Coarse bread, porridge, pottage, and occasionally salted fish or wild game. They understood the rhythm of the land, the cycles of planting, harvesting, and hunting, and how to manipulate it for survival. Festivals and religious observances provided rare moments of indulgence, but for most, hunger was a daily companion. Still, they survived. They learned which weeds were edible, which roots could be stored, and how to turn bones, skins, and scraps into nourishing broths. Meanwhile, the nobles' excesses became spectacles of social hierarchy, feeding not only their bodies, but their political power. The stark contrast between rich and poor shaped not just what people ate, but how they viewed the world and their place within it. Here's the clever part. Survival depended on transformation. Peasants mastered techniques to extract every calorie from limited resources. Bones were boiled into marrow-rich broth, vegetable peelings became soups, and grains were soaked and fermented to increase digestibility. Smokehouses and simple drying techniques preserved meat and fish for months, while root cellars kept tubers alive through freezing winters. They combined these methods with communal knowledge. Recipes were less about flavour and more about nutrition, about avoiding scurvy, and about maintaining energy for labouring from dawn to dusk. Contrast that with the kitchens of the wealthy, where food was abundant but fragile. Spices disguised spoilage, and excess often led to illness. The ingenuity of the poor lay in efficiency and adaptability. Every morsel counted, every method served survival, and over generations these skills became second nature. It's a forgotten logic. Conservation, resourcefulness, and timing were as essential as strength or endurance. Without these practices, medieval peasants would have succumbed to the environment that surrounded them. Cold winters, pestilence, and scarcity. Their ability to survive was not passive. It was an active mastery of what the land, the seasons, and discarded food could provide. Today we live in a world of abundance and convenience, yet the principles of medieval survival still resonate. Think about urban gardening, foraging and root cellaring. These are direct descendants of the techniques peasants used to stretch meager resources. Understanding how to preserve, ferment or extract maximum nutrition from humble ingredients teaches lessons in resilience and sustainability. In an era of food waste and industrial supply chains, the logic of medieval kitchens offers a blueprint for efficiency. Even for survivalists or those seeking self-reliance, these forgotten skills provide insight into nutrition, preservation and seasonal planning. The ingenuity that kept the poor alive without modern tools underscores the human capacity to adapt. It reminds us that abundance is fragile, and that knowledge, once lost, can leave us unprepared. By studying these practices, we not only honour those who survived against odds, but we reclaim methods that can save us energy, money, and even lives in challenging times. Medieval survival becomes a mirror for modern life, challenging us to rethink how we source, use and value our food. The story of medieval food is more than a tale of hunger and excess. It is a testament to human resilience. The contrast between castles and hovels reminds us that survival is not only about wealth or strength, but about knowledge, adaptability, and the ability to see opportunity where others see scarcity. The poor survived by turning waste into nourishment, by mastering the seasons, and by transforming scraps into sustenance. Their methods, now largely forgotten, still teach us the importance of resourcefulness in a world of plenty. Reflecting on their lives, we see how easy it is to take food for granted, how fragile comfort is, and how vital ingenuity remains. The lessons of the past whisper a warning and offer guidance. Understanding what it takes to truly sustain life can transform not only how we eat, but how we live. If history has taught us anything, it's that survival requires more than strength. It requires wisdom, observation, and care. So look closer at your food, your habits, and your resources. The secrets of the past still matter today. And if this journey into the world of medieval survival intrigued you, continue exploring, share these insights, and let the lessons of history guide your own life.